start with the name of Allah Almighty, who is most merciful and kind. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Ramiz Raja Baikas Thakro, and I am a student of BS English and Literature at Sindh University campus, Larkana. Today I am here due to my video presentation assignment by Professor Dr. Azhar Ali Shah. Sociology. The study of sociology starts from the basic premise that human life is a social life. Sociology focuses on these arrangements, including how they are created, how they change, and how they impact our lives, opportunities, and options. The word sociology itself actually derives from the Latin word socius, which means companion, and the Greek word logos, which means study of. Thus, sociology is the most literally the study of companionship. The literal definition of sociology to read something close to the scientific study of the development, structure, interaction, and collective behavior of social relationships. But so what? What does that definition actually mean? Why is sociology important? Why should anyone study sociology? Those who engage in the study of sociology understand the relationships and interactions that make up our social works. Everything that constitutes the collective life of groups of people, their economics, their politics, their shared mental lives, their cultures, and more number of people. The focus can be as small as couples, or it can be much larger. It can include families, communities, entire cities, and even nations, relationships, and interactions among nations. Additionally, virtual social worlds such as those existing on the internet are also included in sociological studies. People who practice sociology are called sociologists. In his classic work, Invitations to Sociology, Peter Berger describes sociologist as someone who is intensely, endlessly, shamelessly interested in the doings of human to the sociologist. The social world is a living laboratory and a moving picture that never stops because any aspect of the social world is a fair game for sociological study. The potential types of study are limitless. Simply put, being a sociologist means never having to be bored. Sociology helps us understand the working of the social systems within which we live our lives. Sociologists put our interactions with others into a social context. This means they look not only at behavior and relationships but also how the larger world we live in influences these things. Sociology provides an understanding of social issues and patterns of behavior. It helps us identify the social rules that govern our lives. Sociologists study how these rules are created, maintained, changed, passed between generations, and shared between people living in various parts of world. They also study what happens when these rules are broken. Sociology helps us identify what we have in common within and between cultures and societies. Sociologists know that although people in different parts of city, country or world is differently, speak differently and have different beliefs and customs, many of the same types of social forces are at work shaping their lives. This is an especially important perspective in a world where media headlines are often accused of focusing on divisive issues. Sociology is rooted in the works of philosophers including Plato, Aristotle. Some other early scholars also took perspectives that were sociological. The term sociology was coined by French philosopher Auguste Comte, who would become known as the father of sociology. Culture. Culture is an extremely broad concept. To sociologist, culture is made up of all of the ideas, beliefs, behaviors, and the products common to and defining a group's way of life. Culture encompasses everything humans created and have as they interact together. Culture shapes the way we see the world. It impacts how we think, how we act, what we value, how we talk, the organizations we create, the rituals we hold, the laws we make, how and what we worship, what we eat, and what we wear, and what we think of as beautiful or ugly. Types of cultures. It is important to sociologists to look at the various facets of culture. Every culture is composed of material and non-material components. Material culture includes all the tangible products created by human interaction. Any physical objects created by humans are parts of the material culture. This includes clothing, books, art, buildings, computer software, inventions, food, vehicles, tools, and so on. Non-material culture consists of the intangible creations of human interaction. These exist as our ideas, languages, values, beliefs, behaviors, and the social institutions. Society. Society is also a central component of sociological study and everyday life. A society consists of people who interact and share a common culture. Society is indispensable to the individual because it possesses at a given moment an accumulation of values, of plans and materials which the child could never accumulate alone. But the individual is also indispensable to society because by his activity and ingenuity he creates all the material values, the whole fund of civilization. Social structure. Society includes our social institution, the major social organization formed to meet our human need. The family, medical system, military, religious, culture, and society system, political system, economy, and educational system are all the examples of social institutions. Many introductory sociology textbooks have chapters that discuss these institutions separately, explaining how sociologists apply their theoretical perspectives and research skills to each of these aspects of society. Status. Status is central to social interaction and social structures to sociologists. Statuses are established social positions, unlike popular usage of the term. Having status in sociological term does not equate to prestige to sociologists. Everyone has status, although some do have higher status than others as judged by society. The different statuses in a medical clinic, for example, including physician, nurse, lab technician, and patient. In this setting, the relationships between these positions are socially defined, with the doctor having the greatest power is and prestige. Statuses are obtained in different ways. They can be either achieved or ascribed. Achieved statuses are those positions acquired through personal effort. Being a law school student, parent, squad dancer, or shoplifter are all achieved statuses. Individuals had to do something to become each of these things. Ascribed status are position voluntarily acquired through birth. Being a female, a toddler, a son, a brother, or a princess are all ascribed statuses. Some achieved statuses may depend at least to some extent on ascribed statuses. Now, roles. Roles like status are also central to social interaction, the social structure. The two concepts of status and role go hand in hand. A role is a behavior expected of someone in a particular status. Using the status of the doctor, From the example above, a number of role expectations can be identified. Doctors should come to work. They should examine patients competently and discuss their concerns. They should prescribe medicine lawfully. All of these examples illustrate how we expect doctors to act. These roles together illustrate a role set. All of the roles that go with a single status. The role for different statuses the person holds may conflict each other. This is known as role conflict. Our doctor, who is also a mother, may find it difficult to devote the long work hours required of her job and concurrently fulfill the expectation of being a parent. Socialization is a process by which individuals acquire the knowledge, language, social skills, and values to conform to the norms and roles required integration into a group or society. Socialization is the process where a person learns the physical, mental, and social skills needed to survive in their society. Socialization is a lifelong process of learning to participate in group life through the acquisition of culture, learning what the expectation of behavior are in order to adjust and adapt. The nature of humans is shaped by socialization. Nearly all humans' behavior considered normal and natural is learned. Socialization and personality, the important learning occurs in early childhood. The cases highlighted in the video demonstrate that without early, prolonged, and intense social contact, children do not learn basic developmental skills. Without socialization, human infants' personality is also not able to develop. Socialization is strongly connected to developmental psychology. Humans need social experiences to learn their culture and to survive. Socialization essentially represents the whole process of learning throughout the life course and is a central influence on the behavior, beliefs, and actions of adults as well as of children. Now, the agencies of socialization. Agency 1, the family. The family gets baby first, hence the process of socialization begins in the family. A child is born with some basic abilities that are genetically transmitted through germ plasm. These abilities and capacities are shaped in the way determined by culture. The mother with whom the relation of child is most intimate plays a significant role in the process of molding the child in the initial stages. Subsequently, father and older sibling transmit to the child many other values, knowledge, and skill that children are expected to acquire in that particular society. Agency 2, the peer group. As the child grows older, his contemporaries begin to influence him. He spends most of his spare hours outside his work and study schedule with his peers in the playground and places outside his home. The attraction of peers is virtually irresistible to him. He learns from them and they also learn from him. With the passage of time, the peer group influence surpasses that of parents significantly. It is not surprising that teen age is the age of parent-child misunderstanding. In the socialization of the children, the member of the family, particularly those who exercise authority over him and the members of his peer group exercise two different kinds of influence upon him. Both authoritarian relationships typified by the former and equalitarian relationships typified by the latter are equally significant to him. Agents 3, the school. When the child comes to the school, his formal indoctrination into the culture of the society begins. He is exposed to a wider background than hitherto known to him. He is formally introduced to the lore and the learning, the arts and the sciences, the values and the beliefs, the custom and taboos of the society from a wider circle. His teacher play a very significant role. The child may admire, respect, and love some of his teachers. The impression which they made during his impressionable age lasts almost throughout his life. For the books, in literary societies, another important agency of socialization is the printed word in books and magazines. Our cultural world experiences and knowledge, values and beliefs, superstitions and prejudices as expressed in words. The fifth and the last agency, the mass media. Apart from newspapers which carry printed words, the two other mass media, the radio and television, exercise tremendous influence in the socialization process. They assault our ears and communicate directly their messages, and these messages also contain in capsule from the premises of our culture, its attitudes and ideologies. The role of television in particular is very significant. It communicates directly to both our ears and eyes, and thus leaves a strong impression. Thank you guys for watching my sociology assignment video. Thank you.